Good morning, Saturday Sabbath. Well, today, August 22nd, 2026. I'm finna speak my dreams that I had real quick. Yeah, I'm finna speak my dreams. Y'all see my daughter, right? She a natural. Now, I'm telling you what she is, she a natural. With the boxing, she a natural. So, she love it. Like, you would think, like, after all the workout and stuff, she'll be like, oh, I don't never want to go. She ain't gave me no resistance whatsoever. Like, I would think that she would have gave me a lot of resistance dealing with it. She ain't gave me no resistance. Actually, she went to all her big sisters and told them she loved boxing. I told you this is what I do. So, if she, it's opportunity for her with it. So, we just gonna see where it go. I take y'all on my little journey dealing with her and just where everything go with it. But she love it. Like, it's a natural. Like, I'm like, look, God created you. You finna use your strengths out here. You is finna use the strengths God gave you. You finna walk in your purpose out here. So that's what's going on with her. I told her and I let her know, I'm like, look, if you do good with boxing, you got a soft spot with Mama Hard. So baby, anything you want, you can get. You can get whatever you want out of your mama. Just do what you need to do with boxing, and you get it. I'm telling you this though. So I don't know if she processed the concept yet. She can have favoritism if she do what she need to do out here with boxing. But I put it out there and let her know, look, hey, pretty much anything you want, you can get it. Just do what you need to do with this boxing thing. So I put it out there for her. So we gonna see if she gonna take advantage of it. Cause I would. Shoot, I would. So that was going on, my daughter. I had 2 dreams today I'm gonna speak on. God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, wherever this goes, this is where we gonna go with it. So me, I normally have a vision and I normally do videos. And so God been trying to get me to write out what I see. And I told you a while back, Jesus came to me in a vision and he said, I just want you to write everything you see. But I don't write my visions. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I just do a video. That ain't what God been wanting from me. He been wanting me to write it out. And so today I laid down and I seen some stuff, but I ain't remember it too clear. And so I said, God, if you show me something, I'm gonna write it down. And so as soon as I said that, boom, I was thrown into 2 visions. I wrote one of the visions down, but the second dream I had, this is what I'm gonna speak on. So I dreamed I was at this house. And I'm not gonna get into too much detail dealing with everything I did, write everything down. So, and basically as I was walking through this house, I had seen this person, and as I seen this person, somebody else, a loved one of this person, screamed, she need prayer. She's pregnant. And in the dream, based on what this lady was saying, she was saying that her loved one is pregnant and she been having complications. She high risk and she been having a lot of complications already within this pregnancy. So when this person seen me, the original person who was pregnant, say on the Saturday Sabbath, like why? I'm finna get ready to pause and then I start back up, y'all. I told you he been busy. Yeah. So in this dream, as I'm walking through this house, the original person who really needed the prayer didn't say nothing to me. But another person walked up and was like, I need you to pray for this person. This person, and this was a loved one. And this person was desperate. The one who asked me to pray was at a point where they were just desperate. And so they were just like, what is this? Now it's an airplane? Like, huh? I told y'all how it be now. Never. I ain't never heard no airplane early in the morning like this. But I'm going to get these dreams out. Because there's a warning attached to one of them. Yeah. I guess I should have paused and started. But, okay, so in the dream, the person who was originally pregnant, I think they were too scared to even ask for prayer. But the loved one that was attached to this person was like, I need you to pray for this person. This person is pregnant. And I don't think they went into the detail, but later on in the dream, I was shown that this person was like having a lot of complications. This person was already high risk, but this, on top of this person being high risk, they was already having a lot of problems with this particular pregnancy. So I was just told by the loved one to pray for this person and, you know, the pregnancy and stuff like that. So that's what went on. Okay. So in the dream, it was that person who had baby fever. They just wanted a baby. They ain't care who it was about, they just wanted a baby. So in the dream, I sent a warning. I said, look, you be careful who you pick. So I'm sending the warning. I said, you be careful who you pick out here to be your baby daddy. You be real careful out here who you pick to be your baby daddy. And so this person was like a hothead. Didn't want to listen to what nobody had to say, dealing with what was going on in the dream. Very stubborn, very like, it could be a spirit rebellion too. Could be a spirit of rebellion, stubbornness, rebellion was attached to this. Because the person didn't want to heed the warning, they just wanted what they want, however they got it. But you be careful with wanting what you want, however you get it out here. Because either your life can be easy or your life can be hard based on the choices that you make out here. And so the person had baby fever. They wanted a baby or whatever. And in the dream, I sent the warning and let them know to be careful with their mate. And I also sent the warning on the back end that death is attached to some of these people that you picking for your mate. You got the angel death that's behind it. So the only way out their relationship is you gonna die. That's the only way out of it. It ain't no other way. The contrast that you establish by picking the wrong mates is ending in death, period. God is not playing out here. So in the dream, I tried to send a one person was stubborn, high-headed, but I'm just finna break this down to the best of my ability. God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, let's go. You have to be very wise with who you pick out here. Even if you out of covenant with God, he will bless the relationship. That's where the kids come from. You know, God will still allow kids to come through relationship and stuff like that. Through these relationships, even though you're not married. Even though you get pregnant out of fornication or whatever, you can still have, God will still bless it. Because God is a good God. But in this process of who you picking, God said, be wise with who you pick out here. Be very wise with who you pick. Because the person you pick can make your life easy, or they can make your life a living hell. The people that you pick out here, your baby daddies, your baby mamas, can make your life easy, or they can just give you hell on earth, and you gonna feel it. So, God is saying, be wise out here with who you pick in this process. Be wise with who you pick in this process. Do not settle when it comes to your mate in this process. Because you can either make your life easy or you can make your life hard. And don't be blaming the world and going off on everybody from your choice that you decided through your free will that, like, it's your choice. You pick this. And then you want to blame and throw it on everybody else about your problem that you got to deal with because you done had a baby with Satan himself. Because you done had a baby with a demon. You on demon time now for 18 plus years if you make it to 18. Because the angel of death is attached to that relationship. Because you was bad. You used bad judgment out here. So God is saying, be wise out here. To you women, with picking a mate. Be very wise out here. Because either the mate is going to make your life easy, or you finna be dealing with hell on earth. Period. Ain't no sympathy at this point. It ain't there. Because God's sending the signs. He's sending the warnings. And you refuse to look at the signs and the warning. And then when trouble, when everything God was protecting you from, so that's why he said, leave that person alone. Do not mess with that person. It went in one ear and out the other. But then you think on your time, now you could be like, oh, I want to get away. And it's too late. It's too late for you to even get away. Because when you had the opportunity to get away, and you had a very weak soul tied to that person, and God was telling you to leave when the soul tie was weak, you didn't want to go. But now you didn't establish a stronger soul tie with this person, and now you're trying to pull away from this person. And once the soul tie gets to that level of a stronghold or principality, you can't. It's gonna take a lot to get out of it, because spiritually you're connected. The connection is stronger. So when you decide that you want these kids out here, be wise with who you pick to be your mate with these kids out here. That's all God's saying. You know, in the Bible, it's a, well, you know, when people get married, they say, to death do you part. So, you know, they say, you know, when you get married, they say, to death do us part. Okay, Satan, he mimic everything of God. So when you decide to mate, even if it's not through marriage, because you like on the demonic side, and you pick a mate, it's to death do you part in it. Satan mimic everything of God. He obsessed. So even that covenant that's established through marriage, and you got a counterfeit that you with, it's to death do you part. So the relationship gonna end in death. Cause you in a contract where death is the connect. Like, it's the contract tell you it end in death. Till death do us part. So these demonic contracts, cause you with the counterfeits and it's not in alignment with God, you are in death contracts when you pick a bad mate. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to end through death. Like, that's what it's going to take. Like, it's going to be a blood sacrifice. Like, somebody going to die in their relationship for it to even end. So when God sends these warnings, it's because God cares. God is sending warnings to help you in this process. If you refuse to heed the warning, then you're going to deal with the consequence behind it. Like, this is just what it's going to be. And for a lot of these relationships, the angel of death is attached to these relationships, so you're going to see way more deaths because people pick bad mates and they refuse to leave when God told them to leave. And the only way out for them, because they refused to leave when they had the opportunity to leave, is it's going to end in death. So God said, be real careful with the mates that you pick out here. He said, just be real careful with it in this process. So, God, anything else I need to say dealing with this? I think that's pretty much it. He just like, be real careful with y'all mates out here. Because, like, even when you get married, you in a covenant with God. It's you, God, and your husband come together. Y'all become one through marriage. But if you just, like, out here and you don't go through the marriage covenant, you creating a covenant, but it's not, God not in it. God not the covenant. Like, you not establishing a covenant with God, but you are establishing a covenant with Satan. And when you establish a covenant with Satan, it's going to be death on the other end of it. Like, that's what it's going to take. Because Satan don't play fair out here. So when you pick these mates out here, just know that in order for this to end, it may not end pretty. Like, it may not end pretty. I'm like, I hope don't nothing fly in the truck. Well, let me stop. Because last time I said something flew in the truck. I ain't finna deal with this again, so I ain't even finna speak it. Okay, so this is just what I'm saying. Say mimic everything of God. So that the marriage covenant, to death do us part. Satan got a marriage covenant. He got a covenant. And it's to death do us part. So that's why when you see a lot of these relationships, you see the other person that died. And they be like, okay, they domestic partner killed them. It's to death do you part in these relationships. It's to death do you part. And even if you get married to somebody, if you get married to the wrong person, it's going to be to death do you part. Because you married somebody who God didn't even tell you to marry. So just because you call it marriage and you think you went through the process, if God told you not to marry that person and you went against and you rebelled against him, because you going to prove a point out here to God himself, and then your husband kill you, and then you looking like, ooh, because God told you they don't want the person for you to marry no way. But you wanted to do what you wanted to do out here. And so that was the end result. Because you didn't want the person who God sent for you. You wanted who you wanted out here. And God not going to interfere with free will in this process. But with you wanting who you wanted, you don't know that this person the whole demon that you wanted. So if this person the whole demon that you want, and then you get to the point where y'all on rocky ground, and you trying to leave, and this person feel like, if I can't help you, nobody can. Because you married a whole demon. Y'all on demon time out here in some of these relationships and some of these marriages. And don't put that on God. God said don't put that on him. Some of these married these people in, he said the fruits of these marriages is not him. He said it is not of him. And I would say, like, he tired of people hiding behind marriage and blaming him. Because they ain't want to listen. Because they just had to have what they wanted to have. And then you want to blame God for your miserable marriage out here. You want to blame God, and he told you what it was going to be. God got all knowledge out here. You do not know more than God himself. God know everybody. God created man. God know his creation. When God warned you, heed to his warning. You know, God said he know what he created. He know what's in man. So it said even when he tell women to cover up out here, he telling you to cover up to protect you from these men that he created, that he know what's in them. That's why he telling you to cover up. It ain't because he feel like, ooh, nobody don't need to see your body. That ain't why he telling you to cover up, because in the garden they walk around butt naked. But he know his creation. And he know the state and the mindset of a man. So when he tell you to cover up, and we sheep in wolves clothing out here. I mean, we're sheep around a whole bunch of wolves out here in this world, and God telling you to cover up is for your protection out here, to cover up in this process. So when God tell you to even cover up out here, because he know we in a fallen state. Because if it was up to God, we'd just be walking around in heaven butt naked. Or with our robes on, one of the two, right? But since we in a fallen state, we can't do that. And so with us being in a fallen state, and God know the mindset of man, he know his creation. Like he telling you, I created this. I know the monster I created. I created Satan. I know the monster I created. So if God himself is telling you he know his creation and the extent of his creation and the evil of his creation, and he warning you about what he created, will you take heed to what he telling you out here? And then even when it comes to the mates out here and the men's out here, God is not naive out here about what he created and the extent of what his creation would do out here. God himself created it. God created it. So if God created it and he's sending you warnings about his creation, because he know what he created, he know this, and you choose to just feel like what? Like God don't know what he got going on out here? Like you still walk around like with this mindset of God has no clue of what his creation is capable of doing out here, and you want to test that by being with who he telling you not to be with? Okay, you gonna see what it is. I ain't just death attached to it. You gonna see what it is, and it ain't gonna be pretty. You gonna see just how evil it can be out here in this process. So I'm finna look up something right quick. I'm gonna see if I can find it, and then I'm gonna let y'all go so I can eat. So now I'm reading Genesis 6 verse 5. And this is like before the flood. But the Bible tells us that we're going back to the days of Noah. So, and God even saying we even worse than Sodom and Gomorrah in America right now. Like you thought Sodom and Gomorrah, it was bad. God said, we didn't we didn't top the charts right now in America. And also, I told you my daddy even said God is mad at America. He tell me to leave the country. So eventually you're not gonna be in America when God finally sent his wrath, because you can't contain his wrath. Even the righteous can't contain his wrath. Nobody will be able to be around God in the presence of his wrath, not even me. And one time I seen Jesus, in the dream, he was coming down like the clouds. He was just floating down. Everybody would run around scared. So you think you're going to be like holy or art thou, and you think like you see Jesus coming, you gonna be just falling to your knees like, ooh, my Savior has come. No, fear is going to come upon you. You're going to scatter and run just like the rest of them. Even if you're righteous, fear going to come upon you, and you're going to scatter and run and be trying to find somewhere to hide when you see Jesus. You is not going to want to be in his presence. Nobody is. So in the dream, I was scattering and running. Nobody wants to be around him. When they say Jesus come as a lion and a lamb, you do not want to be around Jesus when he come as a lion. Nobody wants to be around him when he come as a lion. I don't care how much you profess and you stand up for him and you go before everybody and you say, yeah, before you go before everybody proclaiming his name. When he come as a lion, you too will run and you too will hide in this process. You're not going to fall at his feet and say, oh, Lord, my Savior. You're not going to do none of that. So, right now, Uncle reading right here about how God felt about his creation. And this 6 verse 5, it say, then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. God know his creation. He know the evil. He know the level of evil, and we ain't even at that level. But he know what it can be because he created it. He know his creation out here. So when he warn you about a person, when he warn you about a man, believe him the first time. Believe him the first time. It say, and the Lord was sorry that he had made man on earth, and he was grieved in his heart. So the Lord said, I will destroy man, whom I created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, creeping thing and birds of the air, for I am sorry that I have made them. Because he know his creation. He said, but Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord, one man. So God was willing to destroy it all in this process. So do not sit here with this mindset of God don't care about turning it all down and rebuilding it all up. Even here, only one man found grace in God's eyes out of all creation on the face of the earth. Only one man, and it was Noah in this process. So do you think God care that he got to send tornadoes, send floods, send wildfires, send destruction on this earth? Do you think God care about his destruction? Do you think he walking around with his eyes all teary, looking, crying about, ooh, I ain't got nothing, I destroyed everything? No. You know why? Because he just gonna rebuild it all over again. Restoration. God is all about restoration. Turn it all down and rebuilding it all up, all back up if he got to in this process. God is something to not be played with out here and not be tested out here. And y'all keep testing him with these relationships. And y'all clearly see the signs. And he's clearly warning you. And then you want to blame him because you picked, because of your pick. Because you use your free will and you use bad judgment and you picked them. And now it's God's fault. Now it's everybody else's fault. Now you miserable and you got to, all you do is complain, bicker and complain. But who picked them though? Then you pick them. So I think you the problem in this process. So be wise and pick them a little better. This is what God is saying. Be wise and pick them a little better. If you're having a hard time in life, be very mindful of the long term of who you pick out here, even if it's to have a child, because your life could be easy or your life can be extremely hard. And it's based on who you pick to birth the seed into the world. It's going to determine if you're going to have an easy or hard life out here. So you can make your life easier for yourself by picking wisely, or you're going to be dealing with hell on earth for picking who you pick out here. And people don't want to sit here hearing you complain about who you decide to pick. We don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear no complaints about nobody complaining about their baby daddy and about this and about that. You picked them, right? Well, you the problem. If you got some time, you can read Psalm 139. It deals with God's perfect knowledge of man. God's perfect knowledge of man. I'm trying to see if I can read this. It's kind of late, and I still ain't ate. Okay, let me hear you up. It say, oh Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know my sitting down and my rising up. You understand my thoughts afar off. You comprehend my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. For there is not a word on my tongue. But behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. You have hedged me behind and before, and laid your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high. I cannot attain it. You can't attain this level of knowledge that God knows concerning his creation out here. We boxed in. We have no clue whatsoever. How you going to try to understand a God that's infinite and you finite? It's like, where can I go from your spirit? Or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend into the heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall fall on me, even the night shall be light about me. Indeed, the darkness shall not hide from you, but the night shines as the day, and the darkness and the light are both alike to you. For you form my inward parts. You cover me in my mother's womb. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. My frame was not hidden from you, when I was made in secret and skillfully wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Your eyes saw my substance, being yet unformed, and in your book they all were written, the days fashioned for me, when as yet there were none of them. It say, how precious also are your thoughts to me, O God. How great is the sum of them. If I should count them, they would be more in number than the sand. When I awake, I am still with you. Oh, that you would slay the wicked, O God. Depart from me. Therefore, you bloodthirsty men, for they speak against you wickedly. Your enemies take your name in vain. Do I not hate them, O Lord, who hate you? Do I not loathe those who rise up against you? I hate them with perfect hatred. I count them my enemies. Search me, O Lord, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxieties, and see if there is any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. Okay. So this Isaiah 45 verse 7, it's like, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create calamity. I, the Lord, do all these things. So, basically, God is just saying, he know what he created. He know everything going on. He know the extent of what he created. He know the magnitude of the power out here. He know this. So him knowing this, when he send you a warning, you take his warnings very serious in this process. God know the extent of the evil and the wickedness in the creation, and God is trying to spur you in this process. God is trying to help you and save you and protect you and shield you in this process. So when he send you warnings about a man, and he tell you to pick your baby daddies wisely out here and your husbands wisely out here, you women, heed to his warning. Heed to his warning. I'm like, y'all, sometimes these women, they could be like, huh? What part do you not understand? Get out of your delusional, emotional world out here. Get out your emotions out here. Your emotions will lead you astray and probably you'll end up dead. Your emotion will lead you dead off a cliff out here. The blind leading the blind. Get out of your emotions out here and understand what's really going on out here. It's very serious out here. Your life is on the line. Some of these people who they pick is going to be the person who take them out. You picking your person. You picking your person. This is the person who you have come into agreement with that, okay, this person is going to be the person who's going to end my life. You come into agreement with this. So be careful, you women and you men, but especially you women, with who you picking out here. Because you just want what you want, when you want, how you want. Because you may not, because you're going to see what it is. And you're going to wish you didn't want what you want, how you want, when you want, where you want in this process. I'm finna let y'all go. Y'all enjoy y'all day. Y'all be safe out here. I am going to send up prayers. Is this person who's going to have complications. And they already are high risk anyway. But on top of them being high risk, they're going to have complications with a pregnancy in this process. And I'm just sending prayers up now dealing with that. But I'm sending warning to you women out here. You're going to figure it out and you're going to learn. If you don't want to take heed to what God's saying, he's going to chastise you and you're going to figure it out and you're going to learn. And you better hope death ain't attached to it. You better hope you don't learn through death and maybe your loved ones see what you went through and say, I'm not going to go through that. I'm going to leave the first time. God know his creation out here. He know the evil out here. He know the extent of what they gonna go through out here. He know the covenant. He know the death covenant that's attached to you for you picking the wrong one out here. He know all this. So when he send you a warning, but you in your delusion in this process, you blindsided. God said be sober-minded. So some of these decisions that you making under influence, while you drinking, while you smoking, while you under influence. Some people say sexually you can be under influence. There could be a spell. While you under all the influence, making all these important decisions for your life, God said be sober-minded out here. And if you sober-minded, you're going to see what it is in this process. But you drunk high and you sleeping with these random people, or you sleeping with these certain people out here, and then you stuck with them, you pick them, right? You picked it. Because you had a choice. But through your free will, that's who you pick. And then you want to mop him on. Nobody don't want to hear no complaints all over the internet about who you pick for your baby daddy, what they do, what they don't do. Don't nobody want to hear all that because you picked them, right? Okay. So you picked them. So I'm looking at you as the problem. Not them. You can try to bash them, make them look like who they want to look like, but you the problem for picking them. So if you pick them, then you just suck it up and you just deal with it. That's what we got to do out here. We just got to suck up our bad decisions and we just got to deal with it and move forward. Because we was the problem for picking them in the first place. So, I'm finna let y'all go. Y'all enjoy y'all day. Be safe.